Page 31, theme from Symphony No. 6 by Beethoven. On page 30, they're discussing the key of C. To be more specific, it is the key of C major. C major has no sharps or flats in the key signature. That's basically what we've been doing most of the time, is it uses the white keys on the piano. You can have accidentals stuck in where you have flats and sharps in the music, but the key signature has no sharps or flats. The top of the page 30, they're showing you the C major scale. That's nice, but I would prefer you use my scale video on C major. You'll find it in the playlist on scales. And do the beginner part. Learn the scale. Learn to play the scale. It will help you out in these pieces a lot. It really will. Next, they discuss the primary chords and tell you where they're from and all that stuff. Well, there's 3 primary chords in any key signature, and you need to know them. They're important. And that's the 1, the 4, and the 5 chord, or 5/7 chord. But you need to learn them in both hands. And a lot of times we use them in the arrangements they show at the bottom of the page on 30. You see the 1 chord, you see the Roman numerals underneath the staff. That stands for the chord number. 1 chord, which is a C chord, and a 4 chord, which is an F chord, back to the 1, and then a G7 chord, which is a 5/7 chord. But you need to learn them in both hands. So do it. Do them in both hands. It's important. It's like you do the scale in both hands, do the chords in both hands. They talk about how it inverts, and inverting is just turning things over. So if I have an F chord here, I want to turn it over, I'm either going to take the bottom note and put it on top, or I'm going to take the top note and put it on the bottom. Either one is an inversion. Normally we go up, so this is root position. Root means where the name of the chord is the bottom note. And the notes are 1 key apart. I mean, there's a key in between them. See, there's a key in between them. That's root position. Then I can invert it 1 time. I'll take the F and put it on top. We call that first inversion. I can invert it again. Put the A on top. That's second inversion. If I invert it again, I'm back to root. So that's what they're telling you. The F chord they're showing you is second inversion. Big deal. And the G7 chord here, well, it's a G7 chord is this, and then you just turn it over. G on top. And you don't have to use all the notes. So what they did is they left out this, so it's just 3 notes. And that's it. It's like first inversion. Now, you're saying 1, 4, and 5. Well, they explain the Roman numerals and all that. You see, in any scale, each note in the scale is numbered. We call them steps. C major, it starts with step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the 8th one is 1 again because we're back to C. Well, if I build a chord on that step, that's the number of the chord. So if I build a chord on step 1, it's a 1 chord. 2 chord, 3 chord, 4 chord. That's one of the primary chords. 5 chord, that's one of the primary chords, although we add a 7th, and to do that we just add another note. 6 chord, 7 chord, back to the 1 chord. That's the way it works. It works like that in any key, but you got to know the notes in the key. It's easy with C major because it's just the white keys. So that's why we usually start with C major. And that's just spiel on page 30. So we're going to do this in C major, I reckon, on 31. The key signature here is 3/4, so we only have to count to 3, but we're still counting quarter notes. And in the right hand, you're starting on 3rd finger, so you're here. So it's like the dotted half note. Well, remember, a half note gets 2 counts, and a dot gets half of that as 1. Together, there are 3 counts total, so it works out. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, rest. Now, nothing tricky, I hope. In the left hand, you simply have the one chord with the middle note missing. That's what it is. And remember, you put your hand in that position, you drop the hand, collapse the wrist a little. Never stiffen the wrist, just let the wrist collapse a little. Here. And that's about all it is until you get to the end, the very last measure, and then the one chord using all three notes. Now take a look at the last line on the left hand, because you've been here. Now you got to move. You're coming up here. You're in this position. And then for the last chord, you got to come back down here for the one chord. But you got plenty of time. There's rests for the left hand there, so you got time to move your hand. You just need to know you got to do it. You need to know where you go and which finger's involved, and you know, all that. Who's invited to the party or whatever. Now for the dynamics, you see an MP dice F. Forget the on repeat. That's just something they stuck in there. That doesn't belong there. What we want is the MP dice F. The MP means medium soft, or mezzo piano, moderately soft, however you want to say it, I don't care. And the F means loud, or forte. So the first time we play it, it's going to be sort of soft. And the second time we play it, it's going to be loud. So we know we're going to play it twice. Well, if you look at the bottom, you see a repeat sign. That tells you to go back to the beginning and play it again, because there's no reverse repeat sign anywhere, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to play this twice. Now they've added pedal, and I disagree with it completely. You don't need pedal on this piece, but maybe you need practice with the pedal, or you're anxious to use the pedal and you're looking for any excuse at all to use it. And please don't use the pedal unless you have to, or unless they're telling you to. So we'll go ahead and include the pedal. What it is you push the pedal down right after you play the first notes, and you leave the pedal down until after you play the first note in the second line. I disagree with that, and I want to adjust it slightly. So, hang on to your socks. You see the phrase markings, the curved lines all over? The first line, and then that phrase ends and a new phrase starts. I want to hear silence between the phrases. The phrases are important. Well, if you leave the pedal down, it covers up the silence. You get no break in there. It goes. They're connected because the pedal keeps it all. So I want to adjust this. You take a pencil and mark it in if you need to, but I'm going to lift the pedal with the right hand at the end of the first line. When that C when that comes up, so does the pedal. So I get a little silence before I play the G in there. And that's the change I'd like to make. So I'll give us 3 counts. Let's try this out. You're in C position. Foot's on the pedal. Here we go. 1, ready, go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 2, 1, 2, 3. Tie. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 2. 2, 2, 3, 1, 2. Repeat. 2, 3, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 2, 2, 2, 3. Tie, 2, 3.